Hey, everybody, it's time for the premiere episode of Choice TV Radio Show. Is it radio? Is it TV? It's both. Choice TV's mission is to bring the fun factor to business by combining business promotion and entertainment through the power of media marketing. So let's kick things off with the master of all media, the executive producer of Choice TV, Jon Marchese.
Yeah, hello, folks, and thank you, Paul, for that nice introduction. Well, here it is. The first episode of the Choice TV Radio Show.
This is it?
Yeah, this is it. It's finally here. I am your, like Paul said, I am your host, Jon Marchese, executive producer of Choice TV. Here at Choice TV, we produce web and TV commercials for the best businesses in Southern California. In addition, we air the commercials on our Choice TV business show, as seen on Fox 11. I mean, I'm on TV. I'm on TV.
And now you're on radio.
I know.
This is crazy. You're on TV, you're on radio, you're everywhere.
I know. I'm like the prince of all media.
Well, don't say prince.
Yeah, I know. Right. And you know what also, folks? We rank the videos on Google. And, you know, as we talked about today, I have a radio show. So if you want to promote your business on radio, this is fun and exciting.
Is there any media you haven't mastered yet?
I mean, movies. Movies would be the next one.
Yeah,
so I'm working on that. But listen, today I'm joined in the studio by Paul, my announcer, Ryan Hicks, the producer of Choice TV, and Madonna Quinn Marchese, my wife and executive producer of Choice TV, and my boss. Right, fellas?
Yep.
And my boss.
Is that why she's behind you here? She's prodding you?
Oh, yeah. She's going to pass me notes to say probably be quiet or talk more, or probably talk less or whatever. And listen, I'm so excited because I have a special guest in the studios. Guests, Steve Cederquist, owner of Cornerstone Property Services and contractor on HGTV's hit show, Flip or Flop.
What?
I mean, yeah, we have a celebrity in the house.
Unbelievable.
It is incredible. And Steve has become one of the most sought-after remodel contractors in Orange County. And today we also have Steve's business partner and vice president, Jeff Kidd.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thank you. Well, thanks for coming in. Jeff is
we haven't had you yet. We're just starting. Right.
Jeff is a former pro surfer from Hawaii turned senior building inspector who now works side by side with Steve. Their work can be seen on Flip or Flop, and Jeff has been an integral growth and property to Cornerstone Property Services. He's been very, very influential to the company. So let's get right down to it. Steve and Jeff, welcome to Choice TV Radio.
Thank you for having us.
Can I just ask one question? How in the heck did you guys get on HGTV? Did you come up with the idea for the show, or did the show come to you and seek you out? How did you get this?
Yeah,
gig?
Steve, tell me about that.
Well, you know, it was kind of interesting. We were, I've been a fan of the show forever, since it came out, since the first season. And I'm watching the show. I'm sitting there watching it with my girlfriend, and I'm watching the contractor on the show. And I said, "Gosh, you know, I wonder if they would ever need any backup contractors or anything of that nature."
Sure.
So I reached out to them on Facebook, and within 10 minutes, I got a response. I didn't know if it was from Tarek or Christina, but it actually was from Christina. And she had said to me, "Yeah, let me check you out." So they checked us out. They liked what they saw because we'd been in the industry for a long time. Mm-hmm. We set up a meeting. I met with Tarek, actually Tarek first, and I actually met him at a house. And we went to this house in Westminster that he bought, mm-hmm. and he had me walk the house, and he said to me, he says, "What do you think this house is going to cost to rehab this house?" Mm-hmm. I said, "Well, you're probably looking around $50,000 or $60,000. He says, "I'll tell you what." He says, "You do it for $60,000. He says, "How long is it going to take you?" I said, "Well, I'll have it done in 3 weeks." Mm-hmm. He said, "Okay." So he left me alone. He turned me loose. I said, "Well, what's your design? What do you want?" He goes, "I've seen you." He goes, "I've seen your work and what you do. Make it like you do all the other houses." So I did. I went out, finished the job. He came with his business partner, Pete. Great guys, by the way. Pete's a great guy. And they liked the house. And the rest is history. Next thing you know, he liked my work, so he says, "Hey, I want to put you on TV." So that's when he had me. And the very first episode I did was for them, is the end of season 2, house up in La Mirada that we did, and that was quite a house. That was the house with the we're up on the ladder and the termites holding hands.
I remember that. I remember that. That was hysterical. I think you coined that phrase, the termites holding hands.
I think we did, because you know what? When people see me on the streets today, they mention that phrase to me all the time, like, "Oh, you." Termites holding hands, and they're laughing.
And Steve, how does it feel to be a little celebrity? I mean, you're recognized. I mean, tell me about that.
At first I wasn't used to it at all. I mean, I would go places. We would go out to dinner, with the family, and people would look at you and they'd stare at you and kind of look at them like, like when you have somebody you remember you don't like. You don't know if you like them or you don't like them, and they give you that look like, I don't know if that guy did me wrong or whatever. Right. And I would be like, I wanted to go over and tell him, but I didn't want to be like that guy. Going over, hey, by the way, I'm on TV. So I just kind of let it go. But after, I think we've ran 14 episodes, and I think with all the reruns and stuff that happened, I think we've aired a couple hundred times now at least. Maybe wrong on that, but around that number. Yeah. And people know you now.
So, and do you sign autographs?
Yeah, it's weird. I've been asked to sign autographs, and it's funny because Jeff always makes fun of me when we go to a house or somebody wants to meet me personally, want my picture or whatever. Jeff's always like, we should get some. What do you say?
I've actually had people want 8x10 glossies. It's hysterical at times.
Bring of you, the family,
right? Of me, of course. yes. So, I've had people round up the kids and get in front of the camera, and it's a photo shoot sometimes when we go to some of these jobs.
That's incredible, and I'm sure it's helped the business, Cornerstone Property Services, right? Tell me about that.
No, it has. It's helped immensely. I mean, we've learned so much from Tarek and Christina. I mean, they've been instrumental in help building my business. I mean, and they're really great people too. I mean, they're just good family people. They're normal people.
Sure.
And Tarek has on numerous occasions has reached out to me and said to me, whatever I can help you out with and help build your business or whatever. It's been great. So it's good.
I was telling some people, I was at a dinner party on Sunday, and I was telling people that you were going to be on the show. And, oh my gosh, HGTV. We love HGTV. Our kids love HGTV. In fact, my son watches all the shows. It's just good family entertainment. And one of the moms I was talking about had a 10-year-old daughter, and she says, forget Disney. She's watching HGTV. And in particular, true story, Flip or Flop.
I'll tell you a really funny story. My granddaughter's the same way. I have a granddaughter who's 12 years old, and I took her with me on an estimate one time. And, she doesn't know. She watches the shows. She's a really big HGTV fan, and she walks into this house, and she looks around, and she goes, the house is kind of dated, but the bones are good. I mean, I was so embarrassed, but it's true. I think a lot the younger generation is gravitating. They're looking at these home remodeling shows like Flip or Flop or some of the other ones, Fixer Upper, and they see the connection on it and they want to be involved because it is interesting. I mean, you can take something that looks so dilapidated, and make it just awesome.
How did you become a contractor, Steve?
I started back when I was about 13 years old working with my dad. My dad was one of the premier interior fabricators with Cederquist Incorporated. It was started by my great-grandfather back in 1916.
Oh, my gosh.
And I would, I started out, and they had me at the bottom. I mean, I'd go in the shop, work on summers and stuff like that, and I would end up sanding. That was my job. I'm a pro sander, John. I don't know if you knew that or not about me. But,
I knew that.
Yeah, you knew that, huh?
They would have me, just do all the grunt jobs, and I would be like, sometimes be like, geez, this is crazy. Can I go out and do something? Sure. And they had an old German boss named Hans Bonny, and he'd be like, no, you go to sand. And I would sand like all this molding, like 500 feet of it or something or more, and he'd look at it, come over and feel it, he goes, do it again.
Oh my gosh.
Needs to be sanded. I'd be like, oh,
is this with your hand or with the machine?
Oh, no. This was old school.
No, this is all
old
by hand. School.
All by hand.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then I finally, got as I grew up and got out of high school and went to college. I'd work for my dad on weekends or nights or whatever I was doing with him, and I'd started to learn cabinet making, install, and all those different facets. I learned drafting. All facets of the business I would learn, that I was taught to learn. And then we closed our doors. My dad closed his doors, and he retired in 94 during the recession. And he says, you know what? You got to go out on your own. So I started out just myself. I started out just doing small odds and ends jobs, handyman kind of stuff.
Sure.
And people just noticed the quality of work and the attention to detail that I would have. So we did that, and then we started a little cleaning business alongside of it, and it just grew from there. I mean, in the last 15 years, it's just grown to what it is today. 30 employees, 6,500 square feet, facility. Nice stuff, and good things are happening. Tons of big remodels in key areas, Newport Beach, Corona Del Mar, Anaheim Hills. Nice stuff.
And I want to talk about the employees. Now, this is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Steve has his ex-wife working for him and his soon-to-be wife working for him. How does that work out?
That's an interesting question, John. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, please tell me about that.
Well, it was a little awkward at first.
Yes.
My kid's mom, she was out of work. She worked during the times that I was working at a law publisher and managing their buildings. She was working there, and then they went out of business, and she was looking for a job. And I was doing this work, and I know her attention to detail.
Yes,
as quality control,
right.
And hospitality, and her cleaning, and so I let her start running like the cleaning aspect of the business, and then it kind of evolved from that into quality control. So she would go out and make sure the job sites are clean. And what sets us apart?
Sure.
A lot of contractors, they go out and they put on their estimate broom clean. Broom clean's nothing. You pick up a broom, you sweep it. I mean, we actually we go out before a job even starts, and we do asset protection, and we try to cover and make sure we bring in air scrubbers so people aren't breathing dust, and we try to take care, and we send a cleaning crew through at least 3 times a week during an active job. So the job sites are always clean. I mean, even when inspectors show up, they're like marveled by our cleanliness.
And Patty, your ex-wife, she oversees that.
Yeah, she handles all that.
And Rocio, which, by the way, I've met them. They're gorgeous. I mean, they're gorgeous. Great pick, Steve.
Thank you.
Incredible. And then Rocio, she's your soon-to-be wife. She does your...
She's the CFO. The buck stops with her.
Oh, my gosh.
You know what? Come to think of it, Jeff, I think we need to get a sign for her door. The buck stops with her.
Yes, we all are. Yeah. We're deathly afraid of her. Yes, she runs the show.
She definitely runs the show, John. She's like, because I'm a little eccentric. When I do a job, I always try to throw a few little extras in just because I like to do that. And she's always the first one to, I don't see a change order with this. I don't see this. And I'm like, oh, don't worry. It's being handled. Then I throw it on Jeff, and I blame Jeff.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Madonna runs my books, too. So
you understand, right?
Yeah. But how did Rocio feel? Now, let me tell you, everyone. Steve, I want to work for you, Steve, because Steve took his entire crew to Vegas. We went to the pool party. I mean, did Rocio, how did she feel? It was like a corporate retreat, but instead of going to the mountains, we're partying at the pool at the Rio.
Yeah, that we took half the crew and we had because we, as Cornerstone, we own a plumbing company, emergency services, and everything. So half the plumbing crew had to stay back here to handle business, and a couple of the office girls. But that'll be on the return party in August. But yeah, we decided that everybody who works for us, they work hard. And we want everybody to know that we appreciate them. So our give back to them was like, hey, come to Vegas. We're going to play hard, and I think everybody went out there and had a great time. I mean, it was
it's good for morale, huh?
It was good for morale.
Yeah, that is good. I mean, not too many bosses really care that much about their employees to do that. And I was there with them, ladies and gentlemen, and it was first class, right? Right, Jeff?
We took helicopter rides. I mean, yes, it was incredible. It was incredible.
Private jets, helicopter rides.
Cabanas, it was. Yeah, it was incredible.
And even bigger for August, right, Steve? It's going to be even bigger.
You can even hear it in my voice. I still have the lingering effect from Vegas.
We're all suffering a little bit here.
Yeah, we're all suffering. We're still
recognition.
We're still recuperating here.
And Steve also has his two sons. Now this is working for him. Now this is funny as well. We have Max, who is big and burly and has the beard. He's your demo guy. And we have Sammy, who he's like a GQ model. I mean, he's probably could be. I think he's been approached to be a model. He doesn't want anything to do with construction. He is the salesman. How does that work? I mean, it's the whole family. The family's working there.
It's true. It is a family. There's a lot of pros and cons that go with that. What we like about it is, Max, we can entrust Max any kind of demo job that we have. We can tell him, hey, we've got all this concrete to come out, and Max doesn't complain. He goes out there and he handles business. Sam, on the other hand, if we tried Sammy in the field at one time, and he came back and he looked at his hands and he was like, oh, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, so he's not going to be sanding like you did when you were a kid, right?
No, a new generation.
New generation. Yeah, those millennials.
Yeah, millennials. He's he's definitely he's the GQ kid.
Sure.
Yeah,
and he's been approached to model, right?
Yes.
He sings and he
does,
and he plays guitar.
He plays any instrument.
He's an incredible musician.
He's an incredible musician. He can do guitar. He does ukulele. He does piano, organ. I mean, name it. He does it all, and he sings like Jack Johnson. I mean, he's really good. We anytime we have like a pool party at our house or something, he'll come out with family barbecue or whatever. He'll come out and sing, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's good, and it's just the diversity of the kids is awesome.
Yes.
Had my daughter working for us for a while, but she got married and got a good opportunity, and she moved up to Nevada. But now she's coming back tomorrow for visiting. Her and my grandkids are coming back tomorrow, and she's like, hey, we got to start something out in Nevada. And she's all on fire for me to start a construction division out there and buy houses and flip houses out there in Nevada. So we'll see how that
Cornerstone's
goes.
expanding into new territories.
Yeah, we might be.
Yes.
And Jeff, how long have you been with the company?
A little over a year, I believe.
Nice.
Somewhere in there.
Nice.
And, it's a great family atmosphere.
Stalker.
Really, yeah.
And you are vice president.
I am vice president. Well, that's what it says on my card.
and your job, you're the builder. Right?
I am the builder. I've about 35 years background in building. Back Steve telling a story about sanding, when I learned, I got to move lumber around for about a year. Before they let me touch a saw and a hammer, and I learned the hard way. So we pride ourselves in doing quality work. That's where I fit in. I make sure everything is done right.
Can I have some surfing lessons?
Anytime.
Yeah, and you're a pro surfer in Hawaii.
Yes, my lovely lady Kim at home is enduring 16 boards now in our laundry room.
Oh, my gosh.
So anytime you'd like to go, we've got you outfitted.
Do you like the long boards or the short boards?
I'm getting up there in age. I'm still holding on to the short boards. I still ride the short boards, but getting a little long in the tooth. I'm getting closer to the long boards as I grow. Nothing wrong with either, but I still do like the high performance.
And Steve, you surf as well, right?
I do. I'm a longboarder. I'm way slower than Jeff. He's a lot better than me. Put it that way.
I keep trying to talk him into go. We've had some rather big days as of late, and I keep telling him, "Come on, we'll go." And he's a little smarter than that.
No, I go out when it's like maybe 2 to 3. He tries calling me when there's like an 8 to 10 foot swell, and I'm like, "I'm busy. I'm busy that day. Wait, look at the time. I'm busy."
He'll be all right. I'll keep an eye on him.
There's a video on the internet of a 90-foot wave.
Yes.
Of a surfer surfing that. That was...
It's a gentleman I know, Garrett McNamara. Yeah. Know the family.
And it was done in... where was it?
He was in Portugal.
Portugal.
Yeah.
Portugal.
And he was actually towed into that wave, which some of us purists think you should have to paddle into the wave, but, he still rode quite a wave.
Dude, that wasn't a wave. That was a tsunami.
Wouldn't be me.
How do you paddle into a tsunami? You don't.
You don't.
Well, this is great. And we are going to take a break. And when we come back from break, you gentlemen have some stories. There's some good stories we have in store about what happens when you go into these houses. So I am going to shoot it over to Paul, and he's going to do our intro to our break.
All right, everybody's scrambling for their headsets here. We're back with Jon Marchese, the master of all media.
And Steve Cederquist and Jeff Kidd from Cornerstone Property Services. Hello.
Before we go too much further, when does the next season... We're taping this in, for those listening live or later, you're going to want to know this was done in the beginning of June of 2016. You might be hearing this a year later. When does the next season of Flip or Flop come out? Let's give that a plug before we go any further here.
Yeah, no problem. I spoke with Tarek the other day. Their season premiere is a week from today.
Oh, right now.
A week from today. Yeah, it's going to be season 6.
Anything you can tell us? Anything coming up? Any hints? Any little you want to little?
I can throw something in. I filmed for a purchasing agent. That'll be in December, I believe.
You were in. Jeff filmed for them. Did a walk for them. Did some filming for them in a house in Garden Grove. They bought 2 houses side by side. And
beautiful property. Really.
Yeah.
Let me just ask one last question, and I'll shut up. What makes that show work? There have been many other kinds of shows like it. In fact, there are a couple, but that one has really excelled. What makes that show work?
I think the design. I think just the chemistry between Tarek and Christina. They play off each other, and it's so funny because when they're out there, people think, oh, is this like staged or whatever? It's not. That's how they really are in real person. I mean, in real life. Sorry. They're very. She's got an eye for design like nobody else. I mean, and she's awesome. And sometimes Tarek doesn't bite into it at first, but when the bottom line is when it's done, he always says, you know what, it's amazing what you've done, Christina. I give her a lot of credit too. She's awesome. Her design and just super nice people.
Well, maybe we'll get him in on the show sometime.
Oh, that'd be great.
Awesome.
That'd be great. Okay. And what do you think the current state is on flipping houses? Is that something that you'd recommend, or what? Things fluctuate.
Well, I think that right now, I think the market on the median-sized homes is it's kind of run its course. You got so much competition out there in buying, and the budgets are. You got so many people overpaying because inventory is so low. That people are overpaying. And it's hard because if you go into it knowing what you really need to do to the house, you really got to look at it objectively and say, you know what, maybe we're not going to change the cabinets on this one. We're going to have to sand them and paint them, or the flooring. Maybe we're going to have to cut corners or something. Not really cut corners, but you know what I mean. But scale back the scope. I think where the market is really heading, and a lot of jobs that we're doing now is the $1 million flips. You've got people that are investors that are, and which sets them apart because they go out and spend, like the jobs we're doing in Newport and Corona Del Mar. I mean, these are $3 million houses,
right?
And they're investing with us $300,000 or $400,000 on a flip. But the return they're getting out of that is an extra $500,000 or $600,000. So the return rate is way higher. And we've done quite a few of those, and we're actually in the middle of doing about 3 of them right now.
I saw that one with there's a pond, there's a lake in Newport Beach. I never knew that. That's incredible.
Yeah, Cherry Lake in Newport. That's one of our investors. He's done a couple of homes out there already, and he saw us on Flip or Flop, and said, "I really want to work with you guys." And it's been great. The house is going great. It's looking great, and. We're really blessed to have that house.
And does Steve dream big? And do you have to sometimes pull in the reins, Jeff?
He dreams real big. There's a reality to building, and he's on the design side sometimes, but then he takes it and he goes. I get the bones strong for him, and then he moves forward. So he dreams big, and sometimes that's really a good thing. Yeah. It opens a lot of doors for us. It makes a home for people.
Right.
It's not just a place where they live. It's their home, and he actually takes into consideration what people are about. We'll go into different demographics, and he's very good at the design aspect of it and working with the customer.
In integrity, I mean, it's just commonplace nowadays for contractors to just flake. I mean, my parents have had several renovations done, and the contractor doesn't show up half the time. And it's just expected behavior. That you don't do that. Right? I mean,
no, it's funny you say that because we rescued a job just recently. We just finished it a couple weeks ago in Newport Beach, where a contractor had gone in and just made some bad decisions and some horrible choices. And then when we went in there, she brought us in and said, what, this is horrible. And I reached out to, in all fairness, I reached back out to the contractor and I said, hey, we're not trying to, I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I'm just saying you need to correct this. I mean, it's wrong. And he wanted to spend 20 minutes arguing me and then claim that I was going to put it on TV and make him look bad. And I said, I'm not going to put you on TV. we want to do the job right, and we just we went in and corrected it. Yeah, and honestly, it cost her an extra $50,000 to have us come in and fix it right.
Right.
But it's unfortunate. We see a lot of that. We do. We actually get a lot of jobs where people have walked. Contractors have walked off the jobs, or people make. I think one of the biggest mistakes people make today.
What's that?
Is they hire an unlicensed contractor.
Right.
Here's the deal with that. If you hire an unlicensed contractor, and let's say you've got him working on your house, him or her working on your house, and they get hurt. You're liable.
Sure.
You're liable for that. I mean, you're liable for them, for their injuries, for their workers' compensation.
Oh, my gosh.
And not to mention, let's say that, I used to do some trade shows back when I was doing a lot more multifamily work. And, I had the old guy walk by me, and he grumbles, well, I got a handyman for $40 an hour. So I'm sitting in my booth, and I walk behind him, and I kind of scared him. I go, what do you really have for $40 an hour? He turns around all startled, and I said, no, sorry. I said, but what do you really have?
Yeah.
And he goes, well, he does everything. And I said, what happens if he floods your building out? You've got how many unit building? He says, that's a 12-unit building. I said, what if they flood your building out? What if they do something wrong electrically and burn the building down? Or somebody gets electrocuted, something happens safety-wise, or somebody gets hurt or catastrophically die or something.
They're responsible.
I said, you have nothing.
Yeah.
You have no recourse whatsoever. That's why, when you hire a contractor, you're paying us more money than you would a handyman, but we're licensed, we're bonded, we're insured. I mean, it's part of the deal.
We're pulling the permits. We're protecting you.
Exactly. I think maybe people are embarrassed to, let me see your license, or, let me see your qualifications. They just, okay, he looks okay. But it's not, because everything is okay until something bad happens. Then you're going to pay.
Well, you know what? What's really good about the state of California, which we encourage, we really comply with everything with them, but they have a good program where it's called Check the License First. When someone gives you their business card, they should have a business license, a contractor's license number on it. All you need to do is go to the California website and go to Check the License First. You enter that license number in there, and it'll tell you if they're active. It'll tell you if they're, there's no expired or they're disciplined, something's going on. So I encourage everybody out there listening to do that. Always check the license first.
What's that website? Do you know?
It's CSLB.
It's CSLB.ca.gov.
Nice. And now I want some stories. Working on houses provides a challenge, right?
Yeah.
Now Steve has told me a couple of stories. There, the haunted house you worked in, and also the federal marshals raided one of the houses.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, tell me about that, Steve.
Well, I'll go into the haunted house first. That was an awesome. That was a house we did on HGTV. I can't mention the house because of anonymity reasons.
Sure.
But it was funny because we did this house. A lot of my workers would come to me and they'd say, "This house is haunted. This house is haunted." I'm like, "Dude, this house isn't haunted. Come on, get back to work. What are you guys talking about? I don't believe in that stuff." So. Where I hired this, I outsourced the drywall work because we ended up having to do a complete rewire of this house, a lot of drywall work, and it had to be done. I'm pushing my guys in the company to do it, so they're working nights. The guy comes at me the next morning, this owner of this big drywall company, he says, "Dude, this house is haunted." I said, "What do you mean this house is haunted?" He goes, "I'm telling you, we're working in the back room, we hear all this commotion in the front of the house, we come back, all of our extra tools are thrown around the whole room, bags of mud, drywall mud, are broken open and thrown all over the room." And I go, "Did you check the front door to see if somebody came in?" He goes, "All the doors were locked." And then I started well, maybe this guy's onto something. So I started talking to my other employees, and I said, "Hey, tell me about your experience." And my tile guy, he was like, "Oh, the lady would throw things at me." And I go, "How do you know it's a lady?" He goes, "Because I heard her voice." So I'm like, a lady ghost. Okay. So I heard this from a few of my other guys. So it's funny because we're working on the house, and the lady who used to live in the house shows up. I'm there at the house.
Right.
And she says, and she's kind of smiling, and she likes what's going on. And she says to me, "Have you met my mom yet?" I said, "No, I haven't." "Is your mom coming?"
Yeah, right.
She goes, "No, my mom lives here. She's still here."
Oh, my gosh.
I said, "What do you mean?" She says, "Yeah, my mom's still here." and she's a racist ghost.
She's a racist
She's
ghost.
a racist ghost.
She's a racist ghost.
Yeah, and I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, well, she only
likes white people.
She only
right?
likes white people or something. Yeah, she doesn't like Hispanic. And I was like, wow, really?
Oh, boy.
And so it was pretty funny. So actually, I did a little thing. I told my guys to get out of the house, and I talked to the ghost. I was like, okay, I got to do this. So I walked in. I said, you know what? Enough. I said, stop being racist and stop harassing my guys. Look what we've done to this house.
Yeah.
This house was a disaster when we came to this house. Look at it. It's beautiful. How can you argue that? Walked out kind of feeling kind of crazy.
Because you demoed a part that she really liked, right?
Yeah. She really loved the green tile in the kitchen.
The ghost loved the green tile, and you had to take that out.
It was... Come on.
Yeah, it's green.
It's green tile.
Yeah, it's green tile.
But I did with the house. I went all back retro. I did it all. We did all black and white house. Christina had a great idea with the black. So we went all black and white, everything, and the house came out amazing. I mean, better than it was first built. Ever since, I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but ever since I had that talk with the ghost, she never bothered my people.
Really?
Nah,
See, it's Cornerstone Property Services is even certified by ghosts.
Ghostbusters.
Too.
We're Ghostbusters.
Yeah, they're endorsed by ghosts. Did you see that? Did you see any ghosts, Jeff?
I'm not going to admit to anything on this one.
Admit nothing. And also federal marshals.
Oh,
right?
that was a funny experience. That was just a couple months ago. And
was it like, Steve, come up with your hands, come out with your hands up? Was it like that, Steve?
You know what? No, it wasn't. It
wasn't for you, right?
No, it wasn't for me. And this is what happened. Where I'm sitting in front of the house. I hired a demo company. I outsourced the demo because it was quicker. They had a bigger crew. Max was busy on another job. We've got like 15 jobs going at once here. So I got approached by a demo company, and they got like 15 guys in there demoing. And this truck pulls up behind me, and the guys are wearing like automotive, guys in like fixing your car. They wear little stripes.
The mechanics.
Yeah, mechanic shirts. The guy's got a big beard. He's got a ponytail, and I'm thinking it's a drug deal gone bad or something in the back.
Oh.
I see these guys in the truck, and then I see another car behind them, and then another car behind them, and then I see a sheriff car speed by real quick. This was in Lake Forest, and speed by, and I'm like, what in the world? So I get out of my car, and all of a sudden they all get out, and they all start running towards the house, and they all got these U.S. Marshal badges on.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm like, and one guy looks at me and he goes, hey, it's Steve from Flipper Flop. And I'm like, really?
One of the people that are going to be arrested recognized.
Yeah, he goes, where's the cameras? I'm like,
I was on the phone with him the whole time. It was a riot.
Oh, my gosh.
I was like, this is times I wish I had a camera on me, because this is kind of stuff doesn't happen all the time. And no, they were actually looking for one of the guys that worked on the crew for a felony hit and run, where I guess he potentially killed somebody or something in the hit and run.
Oh, my gosh.
And he was there, and they did find him, and they did bring him out. But
I hope he's watching you at federal prison on Flipper Flop.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, he can say, hey, I was at a Flipper Flop house. Yeah.
Now, gentlemen, what fuels your fire? Well, let's start with you, Jeff. What fuels your fire?
I think Steve touched on a lot of the, there's a lot of shoddy work out there now, and we really pride ourselves on doing high-quality work. It's important to me. When I walk away from a job, I know it's somebody's home. I really want to do the job well and make sure that it's done well. So I use quality people, I use quality materials, et cetera, et cetera. And I can stand behind what I built for someone. I really enjoy that. For me, that fuels me on a daily basis.
You're proud of your work.
I am very proud of my work.
Well, it shows. It definitely shows.
Stalker. He's a stalker.
Just a little bit.
I know. I hear you stalk Steve for the job.
Well, here it is. Here it is.
Let me tell you my version first here.
Yeah.
He'll make it sound all pretty. So here's what happened is, I'm on Facebook, and I notice this guy all the time looking at my projects, and he's liking them and making little comments and stuff like that. Then I see, I'm like, who is this guy? I'm checking him out, and I see where he was a building inspector, and I'm like, oh, cool, I got a building inspector. We have a lot of building inspectors, by the way, that are our fans.
Yeah, we do.
Especially in Long Beach. Yeah, Long Beach, they actually love us. When they come out, they're like, oh, Flipper Flop, we love you guys because you get permits and do the job right. And but no, I reached out to Jeff because, looking at his stuff that he did, we became friends, and going back and forth and looking at the quality of work that he did. And then I found out he moved here to be, he wanted to get his kids in a good school district and be out here. So I said, I went to a house that I had taken over for another contractor again. And I said, I want you to come out and look at this house and tell me what you think's wrong with it. And he says, okay, sure. And he came out and he hit everything that I knew that was wrong.
Right.
He hit it right.
Right.
He asked me. I was going to tell him.
Yeah, right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, he's straight up. You know what? But yeah, I call him my stalker. Yeah.
No. I was in Hawaii and I was doing building inspection. I was tied into the new photovoltaic upgrades with all the state buildings, and I did. And the part he was saying about my children, I did need to bring him back here for a better education. I do have an autistic son, so I made sure I bring him, to the best facilities I can.
Sure.
And I did see Steve's work, and I did admire what he was doing. I knew he was doing it right, so that's kind of where I wanted to tie myself to.
Right.
So when I came to town, I said, hey, let's get together. And the story about Yacht Vindex was, I didn't know what he'd think when, I thought, does this guy want me to really point out all these mistakes? There's only a few, but should I really do it? And,
right.
Come to find out, I think I was one of only 2 guys out of about 30 that actually had the guts to tell him.
Right. But you're honest, and it helps the company.
That's what you're going to get.
I want people to be honest with me because that makes me better. And Steve,
absolutely.
What fuels your fire?
I'm going to echo what Jeff said. I like doing the job right. I love going into a project that's it's just the worst of the worst. I thrive on projects that are that nobody really wants. I could look at an old just broken down house that somebody wants to just bulldoze, in which we did a lot of those on the show.
Right,
it should have been bulldozed, but they made good TV. But in doing them on TV, I just having that satisfaction of just a job done right. Well done. And and what's also nice about it, anytime any of those houses I've ever done, if we've ever got a call back, something lame happened, something that wasn't our fault or whatever.
Right.
I've always been the first one to send somebody back there and address a little small issue for them or whatever, because we do take pride in our work and we stand behind it. I'm not one of those guys that just say, 1 year warranty, that's it. No, if you got a problem a couple years later, call me up.
Right. Right.
Something's going on. If something we did wrong or whatever, hey, I'm human, but we'll always make it right. That's just kind of the way I like to roll.
Well, I've seen your work on Flip or Flop and pictures, and it's incredible work. And now if somebody wants to hire you as a contractor, where do they go?
They can go to my website,
which is
CornerstonePropertyServices.com.
Okay, you're in Huntington Beach,
We're
right?
in Huntington Beach.
Okay,
they can call us.
Yeah, what's the number?
714-848-1702.
And you're on Facebook,
Twitter, House, Pinterest, Instagram.
That is, this has been. Did you have fun?
Yeah,
great
this is
time.
awesome.
This has been fun.
This is very cool.
45 minutes went by so quick, and I really appreciate you coming in. And yes, out there, listeners, if you want your house remodeled, you call Steve and Jeff at Cornerstone Property Services. I wanted to take the last. What do we have? 2 minutes, Paul?
Yeah, we got a minute. Let's take a break and then come back and we'll do a little wrap up here.
Okay,
let's take a break.
All right, we are going to take a break and come back. We'll see you soon.
All right, we're back for the last 10 minutes of talk here on Choice TV Radio.
I know, Paul found us 10 minutes, so we can enjoy more stimulating conversation here. So, Steve and Jeff, how does it feel to have, a camera crew follow you? Do you feel like you have to... you're a natural, Steve. Is it you've always been that way?
No, if you watched me in the first episode, I was very nervous. And, it's funny because once I aired, all my friends would call me and be like, yeah, you need to tailor your shirts. You need to, what's up with the glasses? What do you call those? The transitions. And, and I'm like, I'd already filmed 7 episodes when they told me that.
Where were you back then?
No, I tell you that, honestly, I got to tell you that the camera guys, guys like Walter with Pie Town Productions, awesome guys, and the sound guys, and directors, Michael Pando, gosh, awesome director, great guy, Sergio, director, and, Jake, the executive producer, just good guys. Just good guys to work with, always friendly, always just, I think they did a great job. Look at the work they did. I watch all the episodes, even the ones I'm not even on. I'm a little biased. I like mine the best, but
they are the best.
How do they get you to be natural and not to act? So many of these reality shows, you can tell they're acting for the camera, or they're not reacting naturally or normally. How do you get with cameras walking around with you all the time? I know Jon does this a lot in his work. How do you get non-professionals to look good on camera?
I think, Tarek would help me a lot. In the very beginning, he would just be like, relax, act natural, just be yourself, don't try to,
Just be yourself. And you have a lot of support of everybody. I mean, it just seems like it's not only a family environment in your company, but with HGTV, too.
Oh, yeah. And, and then the girls that own Pie Town, awesome people. They came out. We met all the, in one of the houses we did in Long Beach, we had like an HGTV convention there. We had the president come out, the vice president. I mean, we had the owners of Pie Town come out. Oh, just amazing, great people. Great, took us all to lunch. Just super great people. So I just want to give a big shout out to them.
What do the outtakes look like? Now tell us the real stuff. The last 10 minutes here. What do the outtakes look like?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You know what's funny is I wish they would show. I wish they would do a show just on the outtakes because there was some funny stuff. Even when we did a lot of things that people don't know. It's like when Tarek, we went to the house, the first house we did with the termites holding hands, and we were going to. If you look at the cabinets, we were going to save those cabinets. He got burned. He gave $8,000 to a guy who was going to build or reface these cabinets.
Right.
Got totally burned. So I remember leaning into him and I fell into the cabinets because the ones that were there were just junk, and just funny stuff like that, and just Tarek's funny moments, and I think they got one where Christina ate a bug. How
about Dennis squirting Tarek that day?
Oh yeah, squirting him, and just some funny stuff that we funny outtakes.
So was that the cabinets? Did it turn into a flop, that house?
Well, no, that house took a little longer to sell. Unfortunately, it was the very first episode I did, so I was kind of bummed it didn't sell within like 4 hours, like most of them do.
Yeah.
But no, they actually made money. I don't think they made a ton of money on that one, but they did make. I don't think we had a flop yet.
No.
I think every house we did, I think they sold and made a profit. Even if it was $1, they still made a profit.
Yeah. And so Jeff, what's on the agenda in the next couple months? You working on some big houses?
Beautiful homes.
Yeah, we've got some great projects rolling right now. We've got.
You ever do any for free? You can come over to my house and.
There you go.
Little trade out for media exposure here. Or something.
You know what we should do? Is we should have Jon follow us around with cameras.
Oh, yeah.
And then Jon can pay for the rehab. Jon?
That's a good idea.
You know what? I have to defer to my wife. She has the checkbook here.
We could do
Honey, what do you think?
Yeah, it might be good.
We get our house done, right, Paul?
I think that's cool.
Right,
yeah,
Paul?
Why not?
Oh, well, this is so much. I could stay here another hour. What do you guys
I'm with
think?
you.
Hopefully our listeners feel the same way.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to, again, CornerstonePropertyServices.com. You gave your number. They're on Facebook. And Steve is very, right, Jeff? He's big on Facebook.
He is big on Facebook. I think he's on there about every 2 or 3 minutes.
I think so. I know. I post something, and he likes it right away and comments.
Can I ask a question? I mean, now that you guys are famous, have the rates gone way up? Can I not afford you now because you're so famous
That's
and everything?
That's a good question.
No, our rates are not changing. We're right in there with everybody else.
So we can get famous, top-notch stuff for a real price or a regular price?
Yeah, absolutely.
Most definitely.
Yeah, most definitely. But you're going to get it done on time, in a timely manner. Because I don't know. The concept of actually getting a job done and getting paid is something I like to do. So we like to get in and get it done for you.
Yeah, and I feel the same way with Choice TV. I shoot quality commercials, and I make it affordable for people, and I take a lot of pride in my work, whereas some companies in your industry as well, they don't. It's just a job to them. But for us, right?
Quality doesn't seem to be a priority for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's right.
It's cost. Somebody told me a long time ago, if you're doing a service for somebody, like building a house or shooting a video, there's 3 things everybody wants. They want it to be cheap, they want it to be quick, and they want it to be top-notch. And I always said, pick 2.
Right, that's right.
You can't have all 3. If it's going to be cheap and fast, then it's not going to be top-notch. If it's going to be top-notch, then maybe it's not so as cheap or fast as you want it. Do you find that to be true, or do you guys deliver on all 3? Maybe you do. Maybe you deliver on all 3 of them here.
Steve?
I'm kind of still stuck on doing your house with having him follow me around with cameras.
He likes that.
I like that
likes
idea.
that.
I mean, let's get this going. Come on, Jon.
You get a taste of fame, and you just want more and more and more.
I'm starting to get used to this camera thing. I think we should do this.
I know, and now that we're on radio,
Yeah.
we have this medium too.
What do you think, John?
I know.
You're avoiding the question here.
You followed us all the way to Vegas.
Yeah,
Come on now.
well, yeah, I think so. Right, Ryan and Madonna? Yeah. We have 2 minutes. I want to be sure to get this in. I want to give everyone have an opportunity to do shout-outs.
Yes.
To people. Steve, we'll start with you. Who would you like to give a shout-out to?
I'd like to give a shout-out to my crew. My guys, my crew, inside, outside, the girls, the guys.
Who? Name names.
Rocio, and Jeff and Crystal, everybody,
and
Patty
Max.
and Max and Sam and Errol and all my guys out there. I mean, I couldn't do this job without my guys. They're the most loyalist group of guys I've ever had.
And Jeff?
I pat Steve on the back all day long, so I'm going to pass on him. I'm just going to say my beautiful lady Kim and my kids for supporting me all the way through this. That's where I'm going to put my allegiance.
I know. I'm going to piggyback on that, too. I'm going to give a shout-out to my wonderful parents, Sam and Maria Marchese, my beautiful wife, Madonna, and my awesome, awesome son, Carter, and my grandma in heaven, Frances. And I want to give the microphone over to Ryan Hicks, my producer.
Hey,
Ryan, yes,
Hey, everybody.
Yeah, who would you?
We're going to let the producer talk. This is unprecedented.
I know, unprecedented. Ryan, tell me, who do you want to give a shout out to?
Just a big shout out to my parents. They sent me to film school, which in turn got me this job with you and Choice TV, so it was great. Also, a big shout out to my wife Fallon. Love you, and thank you for following me on this crazy journey.
Oh, that is
And
sweet.
I want to do a shout out to
good.
anybody like Ryan that has the nerve to manliness to wear a beard like I do here. I love beards, so he's got a beard, I got a beard. So there you go.
Uh-oh, Jeff,
Ryan.
we're out.
I'm not allowed to grow a beard.
Well, Ryan
I got
has
a goatee, though.
He's been such an asset. He's been such an asset to Choice TV, and thank you. And Valerie, his mom, is incredible.
So what's
too.
next for Choice TV Radio?
Choice TV Radio. Well, we have. I texted.
Did you talk to Patrick Warburton?
I did not talk. I texted Patrick Warburton. I met him at the Night of 100 Stars Oscar party, and we have.
This is the guy from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
He was
and he
on
has a
forever.
new show, and he is on Family Guy. And I texted him because we have an opening next week. The next few weeks were booked after that. I said, Patrick, would you like to be on the show? He said, I'd love to, but I'm in Vancouver. And so when I have some free time, I'll get in the show.
Okay.
I've actually had some nice celebrities wanting to be on the show.
Who else? You rattle off a couple other people coming up down the road here.
Terrence Noonan. But some of the guests that are going to be coming in are Mary Lou Adame Martinez. She is she's in the top 2% at Century 21 across the country. Yeah. So she's going to give some tips.
Across the whole country?
Across the whole country,
wow.
Yes. And also Charisse Matthews. She sells a powerful antioxidant called Protandim. She's also an aerobics instructor. She is in great shape, so she's going to talk about health and nutrition and fitness. And there's a lot of
hold my stomach in for that show.
I know. Well, maybe we we get some free tips, and like Steve is going to give us some advice about our house. And so it's a great opportunity. Radio is very, very powerful. It's been great.
Well, it's a storytelling medium, and we appreciate you coming and telling these stories here. Thanks so much for sticking in. What did you learn from today's first episode here? What did you learn from this?
I learned that this is fun. That is my mantra. That this is fun. It's really good, and especially having great guests like Steve and Joe.
Well, you say Choice TV's mission is to bring the fun factor to business. You certainly did it today here. All right, how do they get in touch with Choice TV if they want to find out more about this show and the work that you guys do?
Yeah, you go to www.choicetv.com. We're still getting up in the Google ranking, so type it in. You can visit our website. We're on Facebook. We're actually certified on Facebook, our business. And you can give us a call. I'll give the number real quick, 949-480-7161. And we'll make a fun commercial for you and put you on TV and, hey, even have you in the radio station.
And I hope that you will do some future episodes about how to get ranked in Google, how to go get certified in Facebook, all these things that you guys have developed an expertise, not just shooting it, but making sure that people see it. That's what I'm looking to learn
Yes, we
from.
do that as well. A lot of production companies don't do that. We do that.
All right, that's going to wrap it up. You've been listening to Choice TV Radio Show. Is it radio? Is it TV? It's both. Only on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.net.